Hi guys, first of all, it is Friday the 12th of July already. Unbelievable. I apologize in advance for any noise outside. It's one of my neighbors building something. I think it's a drill. Anyway, I wasn't going to make a video today, but I am compelled to talk to you guys about self-love. I know it's not something that people think about or talk about. It's something I have to say that I realized when I started my healing journey back when well, let's see, how do I begin this, Usually when you begin your awakening, your healing journey is when something huge happens to you, a huge moment in your life, or it can be referred to as tower moments. Sorry, I'm trying to get this so it's right. I got glare on my glasses. I hate that I have to wear glasses. How about that? Glasses, hearing aids, Anyhow, as I've shared with you before, my first awareness, when I became aware, I guess I should say, was when my mother passed. My mother suddenly passed in 2007. And this was something that just totally knocked me over. Could knock me over with a feather, okay? She and I had been together. I and the kids had been together. This day, kids had been out from school for a few days, and it was time to start thinking about our summer plans. My mom had moved here from down south, 4 hours away up here to the Central Coast, and we were planning on, summer with Grandma. And the Lord decided to take her. We had spent the whole day together wine tasting, laughing our asses off. And she fussed at me all the time for not wearing lipstick. She said, "Where's your lipstick?" And she had this tube of frosty pink lipstick. And here we were. She was leaning forward, painting my lips with this lipstick. I still have the lipstick, anyway, with my teeth mark and lipstick, because I was laughing and she started painting my teeth. Anyway, that was my first tower moment that started me believing that there was something more to life than just what I was living. And oddly enough, it was one of my yard duty. She was a skia who worked with one of the autistic children. And we shared the yard together. I had the kindergartners, and she was there to shadow one of the autistic children, and she gave me a book about angels. And that started my journey. The next awakening I got was when I got divorced. Let me tell you something, you guys, if I haven't already said it. No one wins in divorce. I mean, no one. Confirmation right there. Right? Yeah. All steam. No one wins, but I'll tell you right now, it was a catalyst for the growth. So it started with my mother's death, because I realized there was a special path I was going to have to walk when she was not in my life. My mother was a strong person for everybody but herself. How about that? She needed to love herself. And that's my topic for you today, is loving yourself. And here, I always thought she loved herself, but she didn't make the best choices for herself, starting with the person that she married. Another story for another time. But, how do I tie all this in together? Becoming aware of who you are. So this divorce that I went through, that I was about to embark upon, it was, what can I tell you but that, as I say, it's kind of the way it is when you pick with your spirit guides what part you're going to play in your life when you come here to play your part, to play your role. And as I've heard it said, you get all the lowdown on it, and you say, oh yeah, I'm going to pick that. I can do that. That's not going to be hard. And then everybody's loaded on the plane, to get here. And I hear, if you used to watch I Dream of Jeannie, and Tony and Roger were kicked out of the plane. My neighbor. Anyway, I would disable that alarm if I could. Kick you out of the plane, and they yell, NFA! And Spirit takes your cap off, your knowledge cap, and you are here blindly having to live your life backwards. Well, that's how it felt when I went through this divorce. The difference between me and my former husband is that he didn't have to weather the storm, shoulder the weight, carry the burdens we were having to carry, me and our 2 children, because one of his many girlfriends opened the door and let him in. So, he had that cushion, that comfort zone. And my kids and I had to struggle. And I mean, struggle we did, because we lost everything, as I've said. We lost our home, the home they grew up in for 18 years. We were like fish out of water. We had nowhere to go. And that horrible person I'm talking about, that my mother married, had this big house that she and he moved into right before she passed. She got to buy her dream house, and she got to live in it exactly 1 year. She moved in on her birthday and died a year later, just before her birthday. 1 year. So anyway, we had to struggle by being homeless. We had to throw away all of our things. A big trash bin was wheeled into our yard, into our driveway, to throw all of my daughter, all of her little things, her Barbies and things. My son had a bunch of things. I had things, because we didn't know where we were going to go. Money, that was another story. So talk about having a storage. You got to pay for storage. And we could afford only the smallest storage place, that we could afford. Anyway, sorry, my neighbor's coming in again, so you may hear a truck pulling. So my former husband didn't have to worry about any of that. And so my stepfather begrudgingly allowed me and my children to move in to this big house. And that lasted a very short time. Anyway, I didn't mean to get off on this tangent of that per se, but that to tell you these horrible moments, these very stressful moments you go through in your life cause you to pay attention to your life. It causes you to focus and look at yourself, look at your life, and learning to love yourself and not settle, to pick and choose what you deserve, and you learn at that time your life purpose. And we all have a purpose, and it's called existence, this human life. And you learn what your purpose is when you go through struggle and strife. And it's something that my son is struggling with right now at his age. He's 27. And life right now, his awakening, it's causing him to go within and look at himself and look at the choices he's made. And so while at the time it's a struggle and it's hard, it causes you to know, by knowing what you don't want, you start to know what you do want. And, being able to look at yourself and look in the mirror and like what you see. And there's a lot of people I know, and, myself was included, family members, friends I've had, that can't bear to look at themselves. They can't bear to look in the mirror. I mean, they can't even laugh at themselves. I'm just going to tell you something right now. Some of the best laughter I've had in my life is about myself, over myself. I laugh so hard with my kids because I'll see things that they do, things that they look at and they laugh at, triggers things in me from my past. And I will laugh so hard that I get the tears that roll out. I mean, I get this feeling in my stomach. It goes across my stomach where I can't even breathe. I'm laughing so hard. And there's nothing better than laughter. That saying, laughter is the best medicine. Whoever said that knew what they were talking about, because it's the truth. And to be able to laugh at yourself is healthy. And just as being able to look at yourself in the mirror, and like what you see, self-love. And with that comes forgiveness. And for me, forgiving is, I forgive because it makes me feel better. If you don't forgive, you carry around this heaviness, this burden that's very uncomfortable to carry. And let me tell you something, you guys, if someone has wronged you and hurt you, and people say, forgive them, as it says in the Bible, for they know not what they do. All of us come in here knowing, but when Spirit yanks that knowledge cap off of you, suddenly you're learning backwards, and you don't know, you don't remember. And you learn by doing. You do things that, I don't want to use the word should. I've taken it out of my vocabulary. But cause you to say, how could I have done that? Please forgive me. And start with yourself. Look in the mirror. Be able to look in the mirror and say, like I said, Teresa, forgive yourself for what you did, because you didn't know any better. And it's called being able to say, forgive me, but moving on. It does not by any means mean allow that person to come right back in and traipse right back over your boundaries and your feelings and your heart and just pick up where they left off. Absolutely not. It says, I forgive you because I care about myself and I want to move forward and move on, and I can't do it until I forgive you. Until I say, I forgive you because you didn't know any better. And you're asking for that forgiveness. Well, I forgive you, but I'm moving on. I wish you well and with love, as I say, surrounded by the brightest white light. And, you know, go on. So self-love, being able to accept yourself, the errors you've committed, and you know this by how your gut feels. You know, that's your indicator right there, your barometer in your body, your gut. It never lies. Something that does not sit right with you. I have a little metal bar that hangs on my front door that I got from this sweet little shop, this great little shop down the grade. It says trust, and it has a bell that hangs from it. And every time it dingles, you know, trust. I trust myself, and I trust in the divine that covers me and protects me. So anyway, that's my message today. Self-love and trust and forgiveness. And starts with yourself. That person in the mirror. Think of that Michael Jackson song, The Man in the Mirror, The Woman in the Mirror. You know, we all got to get right with who we see looking back at us. And if you can't, then you have no business moving forward with anyone, because you're not right with yourself. And until you get right with yourself, you have no business moving forward with anyone. And an indicator that it's wrong is you are building a false foundation. A foundation, a house of cards. A foundation that's going to implode, that is going to fall apart. Just be ready for it. You know, you can look away for a while. The divine will let you do that. They'll let you go and go and go until you hang yourself. So, anyway, that's my message for today. I've gone way over my 10 minutes. I'm going on to another 10 minutes. But I felt, because my son is struggling with this right now in his life, coming to terms with who he is, I just said, honey, it's all about loving yourself. You've got to forgive yourself first. You know, he's struggling with that. He says, how can I move forward? This is it. How can I move forward if I don't feel good moving forward? And I go, there you go, right there. You're doing it. You know, you are doing it. You are loving yourself enough to stop in your tracks and say, what am I doing? I recognize it. And I just had to hug him because he's doing it and he doesn't even know it. He's so good. Those are two of the jewels on my crown, my son and my daughter, that the divine blessed me with from the horrible marriage that I was in because I didn't know any better. He and I got together for the wrong reasons and built such a false foundation, fell apart miserably. But what did the divine give me but my beautiful kids, who have been my unconditional love, my support that is priceless, invaluable. So your children are gifts, people, just like your animals. Hug them and love them and tell them every single day how much they mean to you. Don't let them go to sleep until you say, I love you. Don't hang up the phone without saying, I love you. So I'm going to let you guys go. Just under 10 minutes. I will be back soon with another video that just comes through to me when I get the motivation and the messages. I love you all. My love is surrounded by peace and the brightest white light. Have a beautiful day. Happy Friday. Have a glorious weekend. And I will be back soon with another video. Bye-bye.